Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Hoosier Sports Night's Indiana Football Preview Special. I am your host, Casey Richards. Last year's 4-8 campaign for the Indiana football team was largely disappointing, although some individuals did stand out. The wide receiver duo of Tandon Doss and Tamarlo Belcher is quickly becoming recognized as one of the conference's best, while fifth-year senior quarterback Ben Chappell continues to ascend the IU record books. As HSN's Courtney Cronin explains, the Hoosiers' bowl hopes for this season rely largely on the veteran offensive unit.
Coming off another bowlless season, the Indiana Hoosiers finally have the veteran experience they strive for on offense. IU is returning 8 starters, including quarterback Ben Chappell, as well as one of the deepest receiving corps in the Big Ten, led by Terrence Turner, Tamarlo Belcher, and Tandon Doss.
It helps to have a fifth-year senior quarterback who's played a lot of football, been in the same offense now, going on the second year, but with the passing game really going on, the third year. Having a great receiving corps. Terrence here with us is going into a fifth year, played a lot of football, really is the leader of the group. A couple young guys in Tamarlo and Tandon that he's been a great influence on, and then there's another young puppy and Deweese Wilson coming up.
It's a good feeling as a quarterback to get all your weapons back and to really be familiar with the guys you're going to be working with and throwing the ball to. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Going into the second year using the pistol offense, the Hoosiers will no longer see the familiar face of safety turned receiver turned safety again, Mitchell Evans, to run the infamous Wildcat. Dusty Keel and Edward Wright Baker will take over for Chappell when this play is run and have received guidance from the experienced quarterback in how to execute the play.
With Dusty and Ed, is they've got to compete to be the second quarterback. We're not as concerned with that feature of the offense is knowing who the backup, and they're both very talented. It's going to be really good competition there. They both can play and run the offense itself. I think after that we'll kind of fool around and see what we want to do with that other piece of it. Because in all honesty, I think we have enough in the offense right now that's not something that we feel like we have to have.
Both those guys are ready. They're both great athletes. And they both can throw the ball too, so they're very similar players, and they're both really smart guys too, and that's always a plus. And I think the competition, like Coach said, is going to be good this camp, and I think it'll make them both better. And I know that's kind of something as an entire team we want to bring to camp, is really a competition at every spot where no one comes in feeling comfortable, and it's got to be that's when you really find a great team, is when there's competition at every spot and everyone's pushed.
All right, thanks, Courtney. Well, it's hard to believe, but kickoff is quickly approaching with the opening game against Towson on Thursday, September 2nd, less than 1 week away. Following the opener, Indiana has its bye week before traveling to Western Kentucky and hosting Akron at the Rock before opening Big Ten play on October 2nd against Michigan. A trip to Ohio State the next week is followed by homecoming against Arkansas State on October 16th. From there, it's Big Ten play the rest of the way as the Hoosiers go to Illinois before hosting Northwestern and Iowa. The end of the schedule is pretty tough, with a trip to Madison to take on the Badgers before a game against Penn State in Landover, Maryland. The regular season concludes on November 27th in West Lafayette as the Hoosiers and Boilers will battle for the Old Oaken Bucket. Starting with the 2011 football season, the Big Ten will have a completely different look. Nebraska will join the conference, and a championship game will be held just up the road at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. At the College Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival this past summer in South Bend, Indiana, I had a chance to catch up with some Big Ten greats and a former Cornhusker to get their thoughts on the shakeup.
I think it's great. I think Nebraska's a great fit, academically and athletically, especially in football. I think you're bringing a great tradition in.
It's going to cause all the other teams to be better prepared for the season, knowing that if they don't prepare well, Nebraska is the type of team who can beat them every year.
Nebraska is a great school. I know we played against them on numerous occasions, and we have established a pretty good rivalry with them. I think they have some of the best fans in America.
A big beef with Nebraska has always been they kind of play a patsy schedule up until they kind of get into the meat of it. Well, now that there are no patsies in the Big Ten, everybody's a very quality opponent, and it'll be exciting. The potential matchups, the big games, getting to go to new stadiums, the potential new rivalries that could develop. It's going to be I think it's going to be a great partnership.
As previously mentioned, the Hoosiers will take on the Penn State Nittany Lions on November 20th at FedEx Field, home of the Washington Redskins in Landover, Maryland. The contest will be a tough one for Indiana, as the Hoosiers haven't defeated Joe Pa and crew in 13 attempts. Here's Courtney Cronin again with more from this summer's Big Ten Media Days on the Nittany Lions.
Penn State is looking for its quarterback. After graduating the stellar Darryl Clark, the depth chart on the roster isn't so deep. 2 quarterbacks have never taken a single collegiate snap, and another has only completed 1 pass. However, in Joe Paterno fashion, he is not worried about the transition period, as he feels it will fill in other holes on his offense.
You got what you got. We got to do a good job. We got to, make sure we don't ask them to do some things they're not ready to do right now. And the whole football team, we're a relatively young football team. We'll struggle until the kids feel a little bit more comfortable, the quarterbacks, and we kind of come together, the whole offense, the offensive line and whatever. But that's all part of it. I think eventually we'll be a pretty good football team.
While looking to become Penn State's all-time leading rusher this season, veteran Evan Royster will have another task to add to the mix by helping the offense create a more rushing-oriented game.
A major role for me this year is to help those quarterbacks kind of grow and kind of teach them what I know about our offense. And also, game-wise, I'm going to have to step up and make some big plays along with, so is Stefan and so are all the veterans on our offense, So, for myself, it's just about doing the things that a leader does.
With all the perfect throws, fantastic catches, and bone-crushing hits, it's sometimes hard to remember that college football players are students just like any of us. When not on the gridiron, some of the Big Ten's best players relax and have fun in a variety of ways.
Definitely stay hang out with my friends, whether we go to a movie or go out in the town, it's definitely just hang out with teammates.
When I'm not playing football, I'm definitely trying to get to the driving range. I just got some clubs for graduation from my fiance, so I'm definitely trying to get to the driving range and learn the game of golf a little bit more.
Last year I spent a lot of time student teaching. I did that for a whole school year, and I really enjoyed that, and definitely might see myself doing that someday, being a high school English teacher and a football coach.
Whatever's happening in Ann Arbor, there was an art fair. I walked around with a couple of friends the other day, just be social. There was a restaurant week the other day. It was like $6 for lunch. I went and had lunch with a buddy. So different things always happen in Ann Arbor, just hanging out.
Well, that's all for the Hoosier Sports Night Indiana Football Preview Special. We will be back with full episodes following the Hoosier season opener against Towson, as well as their debuts for all the other fall sports. For now, however, thanks for watching and have a great first week.